Good evening, and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting for the City of Fayetteville. This is May the 12th, 2026. We're going to call this meeting to order and ask for junior at Lincoln County High School, Braden Dale, to come forward to say our prayer, please. And also, we have with us Ralph Askin students, June Sessoms, Bastion Roser, and L. Davis. So if y'all will come forward too. Everyone's please stand.
Bow your heads. Please, Lord, I pray that you bring wisdom to these wonderful men and women in this room and protection over them. Lord, I ask that you keep us all safe here and on the drive home. In Jesus' name, amen.
Say it loud.
Salute pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. Thank you. We heard you. I was shaking. Okay, Board, you have been provided with the agenda here tonight. Are there any corrections? If not, the agenda will stand approved as presented. And also the minutes have been provided to you on your laptops for the regular meeting minutes for the April 14th, 2026 meeting. Are there any corrections to those meetings? Hearing none, those minutes will stand approved as presented. We had no one to sign up for public comment today. So next we'll move into the recognition and oaths of office. Tonight we have 3 firemen that are going to be sworn in: Brody Baker, Coleman Sisk, and Cooper Quick. If you'll come forward, please.
You practice? No.
It's nice to say.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, say.
Congratulations.
It's nice to say.
Congratulations.
I state your name.
Brody Baker,
Cooper Quick.
Do solemnly swear that I will honestly
do solemnly swear that I will honestly
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office for the City of Fayetteville, Tennessee,
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the City of Fayetteville, Tennessee,
to which I have been appointed
to which I have been appointed,
and which I am about to assume,
and which I am about to assume,
without favor, partiality, or affection,
without favor, partiality, or affection,
and that I will uphold the constitutions of the State of Tennessee and the United States of America,
and that I will uphold the constitutions of the State of Tennessee and the United States of America,
and the charter and ordinances of the City of Fayetteville.
and the charter and ordinances of the City of Fayetteville.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations. none, we'll move to the portion of reports. Tonight, we have with us Carolyn Denton, the Director of the Fayetteville Lincoln County Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to be here tonight. Very quickly, I wanted to tell you about two things because I have a special guest speaker here tonight that I think you'll enjoy. The community guides are in. I was so excited that I was able to bring you a copy tonight. We got them hot off the press yesterday, and we're in the process of getting those distributed to all of our ad sponsors. You can pick up a copy at the chamber or at one of the ad sponsor locations. So we're really excited that those are out, and it's something that our whole community can be proud of. Also, Music in the Park is coming up the fourth Thursday, May through August, so it's just around the corner. We'll be starting out with Midnight Jane. All the concerts start at 6:30, and we will have food trucks on site at Stonebridge Park. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Ryan French. Some of you may know Ryan. He's the Executive Director of South Central Tennessee Tourism Association / Experience Tennessee. And I've invited him tonight to give us a little update on tourism in our region. Thank you.
Thank you all for having me tonight. I did provide a report for you guys. I put it underneath your new chamber guide. It's kind of a weird time of year to report on data because if we're still working with old data. We have the 2024 data in this packet, but I wanted to bring something to your attention that the state's working on. We're assisting with them on that I think is a pretty exciting project, particularly for Lincoln County. We've had the privilege of working on several projects here. On the table of contents, I'll start with the mural, the White Dog mural that's here in downtown Fayetteville. That was a project that we were excited to bring with the Tennessee Whiskey Trail in the state of Tennessee. We were able to celebrate that mural installment, and it's actually going to be an activated mural, so we're going to be tracking visitation with that. There's a campaign that will come out in early June with the Tennessee Whiskey Trail that's going to, the design is obviously if people are in town visiting Pritchard's, for example, if they go to 3 of the Whiskey Trail murals, that will count as an additional stop on their Whiskey Trail passport. So we can move that traffic from Kelso into town and hopefully create some new economic activity with it. So that mural is something we're excited about as an active project. We actually have 2 new murals being installed this weekend here in Fayetteville. So we're excited about that as well. And those are some things we're going to continue to work on. I do want to go over the data and just leave some time if you guys have any questions. But essentially, pages 3 through 6 are going to focus on last year, on the 2024 data. And we kind of get caught up in this every year. It comes out, there's a press release that comes out from the state. It hits the local newspapers and goes online, and there's a lot of comments usually in every community about the breakdown of that data, where money is. So I kind of want to hope to explain a little bit of that to you guys. But obviously in 2024, there was a $29.9 million spend from visitation in Fayetteville. If you can see that on page 3. On page 4, it breaks down the number of visitors, and it splits that up between overnight visitors and day trippers. And then on page 4 at the bottom, it gives you kind of a snapshot of what that means in your local tax base, collections both from the state and local levels. Page 5, I think, is an interesting page. I want to spend just a bit more time on it before I get into the meat of this. But essentially in Tennessee, we obviously are a sales tax driven state. There's no income tax. And so with that being the case, when a visitor comes and spends money, the margin, if you will, in the business world is greater for Tennessee because they're paying on average a 9.55% sales tax across the state. So in Tennessee, if you spend $1,000, there's about $95 in taxations collected, versus say in Virginia, if you spend $1,000 as a visitor, there's only $58 in taxation collected. So visitors mean a lot to your local economy. And if you turn to page 6, that kind of gives you a snapshot of the difference between a day trip, a day visitor, and an overnight visitor. And this was kind of a shocking number to me, but on the visitor profile for the state of Tennessee, according to their economic impact report, shows a 186% spend greater spend for an overnight visitor versus a day tripper. That bottom graphic kind of breaks that down for you from the tax standpoint. So while it's 186% more in overall spend, it's about 4 times greater on your tax base. So that's kind of gives you an idea. Now, I want to get to page 7 because this is where I think Fayetteville and Lincoln County is unique. Page 7 is a snapshot of your 50-mile radius. All of those numbers that I just went over are spend that is collected from visitors 50 plus miles away. And that gives Lincoln County a pretty unique disadvantage because both Murfreesboro and Huntsville fall within the 50-mile category. So spends from those two markets do not reflect in the overall economic impact report from a traditional tourism spend, okay? So the state, for years, we've advocated for this. They have started a campaign called the Taken Bacon campaign. Mayor, I would like for you to ask Mike Kinney about that next time you have a development district meeting. But
Okay, I will.
they have a Taken Bacon campaign where they're evaluating the economic opportunity on the state border across the entire state of Tennessee. It's about a $21 billion opportunity across the entire state. In our particular area, it's about a $3.5 billion opportunity in North Alabama for us to tap into that market. Give you an idea, on the other side, it's only about a $700 million opportunity for them. So we can be much more aggressive in attacking that market. But unfortunately, if we spend money on those things here in Fayetteville, they're not going to fall in the category of tourism. So on page 8, for the first time, and I will have to apologize to you, you got some handwriting in there because I flipped the two categories. This is a company called Zartico that the state of Tennessee is partnered with, and you guys do a really good job of using placer data. You've got some pretty savvy data already, but this is an interesting perspective of the number of transactions. Now, let me be clear, this is credit card transactions, but that translates pretty clearly over to cash transactions as well as far as spend patterns are concerned. But the total spend in Lincoln County, only 56% of that is supported by local spend. I'm going to give you a direct comparison. In Franklin County, that number is 72%, okay? You guys are an outlier. Your neighbor in another outlier in Moore County, but theirs is a completely different situation, obviously. 56% is your local tax, your local spend. That means 44% of your overall transactions that happen, 44% of them are coming from a visitor. Now, why is that important? You guys have wonderful community events, for example, right? Everything from Slawburger Festival to host a Christmas Pass, Music in the Park that was just talked about tonight. All of these events that happen for Saturdays, they absolutely draw a much more regional crowd. And while that may not fall into that 50 plus category, it absolutely is impactful in the same sense as a visitation. And for the first time with the Taken Bacon campaign, we're looking at that 0 to 50-mile radius, and we're trying to decipher what portion of that might be traditional travel. And that gets into the point of the visit, right? If you're here for tourism, we should categorize that visit as tourism, but more importantly, we should treat that visitor as a tourist. So that gives us an opportunity at that point to advocate for them to stay a little bit longer, spend a little bit more. And I always say, if it's one more night or one more hamburger, I don't care. I just want one more, right? That's the idea. So I'm going to flip through this because that overall spend is pretty unique. But page 9, that's accommodations. There's nothing there really that's surprising. That your local spend there is a little bit higher than we'd like it to be, but page 10 gets into restaurants. This is where I think things are really interesting because as stewards of your local economy and ecosystems, it's pretty unique to see that 50% of all transactions that happen at a restaurant are made by a visitor. And that's a huge number. So 50% of every transaction that happens in Lincoln County in a restaurant is made by a visitor. Now, 40% of those are regional visitors. But keep in mind, I can be from Murfreesboro coming down here for Slawburger Festival, and my spend is going to fall into that regional category, okay? But if I'm from Murfreesboro here for Slawburger Festival, am I a tourist? I believe the answer is yes. I'm obviously biased too, let me clearly point that out. Retail is another one that is a really surprising number to me. 35% of your spend in retail is local. It means 65% of your retail spend in Lincoln County is made by some type of visitor, be it a regional visitor or a traditional 50-plus visitor. So all I wanted to do tonight is kind of point this out because it is a good midway point. In October, I'm going to host a tourism economic impact review. I'd love for everybody to be at that. I could certainly come back and report to the council as well, so we can dive deeper into these numbers, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more information on the Take and Bacon campaign, which Mike Kinney stole that quote from Commissioner Ezell, but I give him a good hard time about that. But it's an interesting data set, and what I think is really interesting from the elected official standpoint is we get caught up, the states put out these economic impact reports and these ranking systems. You're ranking X number, right, in the state. We get caught up in that because that kind of puts everybody on a level playing field. But in reality, that playing field's not level, because if you can't market to the Huntsville and Murfreesboro markets, for example, and count that spend as tourism, and someone just outside, just down the road can, obviously their challenge is a lot less than yours. You're taking out major metro markets away from your marketing spend for tourism. So interesting data. I think it also speaks well to your events. All of your events that you're doing right now are just really great quality regional events, and I think these numbers are indicative of that. But I also think that it shows that your community is a reflection of this economic structure too. So just wanted to provide a little bit of insight on that. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take them. And again, in October, I believe the first week of October, we're still waiting on when the numbers will be released, but when those numbers are released, I definitely want to come back and we'll dive into those fresh, I say fresh, there'll be 25 numbers, but they'll be as fresh as we got. So, any questions?
It's funny that you say this with these statistics, because working with the merchants around the square, when you talk to them, they'll tell you, our sales come from out of town.
Yeah.
It could be people day tripping from Huntsville. They could be tripping from Columbia,
Yeah.
different places, and they'll come. Some spend the day. Some, now that we're having the Airbnbs, they're used a lot,
Yeah.
and so but they'll tell you that it's day trippers or just. But that's okay. It's whether it's out of town or locals, as long as we have business.
I think and my job as the regional director is to advocate on how we're able to use dollars. And traditionally, the state's going to tell you that your spend has to be outside of 50 miles. Particularly with the Take and Bacon campaign, I think that we're going to see grants open up to where we can make spends in Huntsville, for example, to support these events. Right now, some of those spends don't qualify because they're not outside of 50 miles. That's really the structure that we're trying to overcome. But to your point, Columbia, Shelbyville, if they're here for a visitation purpose, we want to treat them as a visitor and then get that one more hamburger, that one more overnight out of them.
I was going to pick your brain real quick.
Yeah,
right here.
absolutely.
This is you do tourism in and out, and this might be unique to Fayetteville, I don't know. But when we, in the past, have tried to make investments in tourism, a lot of the pushback from citizens is we're not a tourist town. And people get hung up on this idea of tourist as if it's going to an amusement park or to something that's big. Can you give us maybe an idea on how we can get this type of information out to the public to make them understand that visitors is what we are referring to as tourism, and how that really affects our tax base and how it offsets raising property taxes when we're spending their money?
Absolutely, and I think that's the first step of what we're actually trying to do with this review of data. I have the first thing I ask people that say that to me is, what would you guess is the number one reason that people travel to Tennessee? And it's the same category, the number one reason that people travel across the United States. Does anybody have a guess what that number one reason is? The number one reason for travel is to visit friends and family. And everybody that lives here has friends and family. So you can't get caught up into the attraction standpoint. The other part, and to your point, the other part about travel is your assets are within your travel range. So Jack Daniels, for example, is just as much an asset, just as if it was in your community. And you're not collecting taxes there on site, but that pass-through travel opportunity, or that pass-through travel that happens, is an opportunity for your spend. So, Alderman Faulkner, the point of this data for me is that when you start talking about $29 million, what does that mean to anybody, right? I mean, those numbers are so big, it's really hard to comprehend what the impact of that is. But if you look at, and I say to you, 50% of every transaction that happens inside of a restaurant is made by a visitor. Hopefully that at least that creates this idea of how big of an impact it has. When you look at, 65% of retail spends that happen in this community happen by a visitor. Hopefully that translates into, and to your point, we're not having to educate their kids, we're not having to pay roads for them, they leave their money behind and we're able to activate that money. I hope that this is a better way of going about it, because I do feel that, and I'm not saying, I love the state economic impact report. I'm a nerd about this stuff, obviously, okay? If I've left nothing else behind tonight, hopefully you know that. But I do think that we're caught up in the ranking systems and these big numbers that people aren't able to comprehend. And I do think that creates a barrier for the local public to understand the impact of it. The number one way for us to overcome, particularly property taxes, there are only two ways that you guys can tax, and that's going to be property taxes and sales taxes. We can't make visitors pay property taxes, but we can make them pay sales taxes and occupancy taxes. So it is a growing market, and you don't have to, you don't have to have the biggest attraction. Regionalism is key. I mean, you do have to adopt, from this standpoint. I would even go as far as the caverns are going to impact you guys. The interstate obviously impacts you guys. Jack Daniels impacts you guys. And that's why, as an organization, we partner with things like the Tennessee Whiskey Trail, so we can use those tools to push them out in your communities and spend more money. But I hope that answers your question, but I hope this data is kind of a first step in that direction to help bring it to a more local impact level, where you can say, okay, I see now that when those sales taxes are helping pave roads, those sales taxes are helping fund police and fire. 50% of those sales taxes collected at restaurant are by visitor, and 65% of them at retail are by visitor. So I do expect with the economic impact report to have a more clean answer for that we can pass on that would be more impactful.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? Thank you so much.
Thank you, absolutely. Thank y'all.
Ms. Bird was unable to make it tonight. She called earlier this afternoon, so we'll reschedule her visit. And we'll move to the standing committee reports. First up is the Fire Department, Chief Davey Bergman.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of April, the fire department responded to 111 calls for service. That included 79 EMS calls, 10 fire alarms, 3 fire-related calls, and 19 other calls. And that's my report.
Thank you, sir. Police Department and Animal Control, Chief Jennings.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of April, we had 100 incidents. We made 52 arrests. There were 35 total traffic crashes. 168 traffic citations were issued. Police activity events, 1,657. The Criminal Investigations Division has a total of 536 cases on hand. We opened 12 new cases, closed 7 cases, and made 4 arrests. To Animal Control, there was a total of 42 calls, 14 in the city, 28 in the county. 10 animals were brought in from the city, 27 from the county. We had a total of 16 adoptions. 1 was euthanized due to sickness. Had 12 animals reclaimed. We transferred 34 out to the Horse Plus. Total in the shelter as right now is 50. Our TNR program with the cats, we assisted with 12 total spades. And that's my report.
Thank you, Chief. Next up, we have a Finance Department, Director Natalia Burton.
Thank you, Mayor. For taxes collected in April, we received $307,578 for local option sales tax. This was an increase of 8.6% from last year. state share sales tax received was $69,620. This is an increase of 5.6% from last year. And occupancy tax we received was $9,283, and this is a decrease of 32% from last year. And additionally, your updated cash balances have been uploaded to your iPads for your review. And that's my report. Thank you.
I appreciate that report. It keeps us mindful of where we are. Thank you very much. Next is Parks and Recs Department, Director Browning.
Thank you, Mayor. And I want to say thank you to everyone for making our Champions League game versus the LC Prime a great success. We greatly appreciate the community support and look forward to having more of these games in the future. Bingo is back. We had a great turnout for our May event, and our next one is set for June the 1st. Junior Fishing Rodeo is coming up and is set for June the 6th at Stonebridge Park. Registration will begin at 7 o'clock a.m. and fishing starts at 8 a.m. And that is my report.
If you didn't make it out to the game Saturday, you really missed a blessing, because those little children are the sweetest, cutest kids. And the team, there was a team that came out and played them, and they turned it into sort of like a Savannah Bananas game, and it was just cute. They had a good time. They were so good with the children, and then afterwards when they got their medals, they were just truly a blessing to everybody. So thank you so much for getting that together. Public Works Department, Director Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. So at Public Works for the month of April, the street department picked up 330 tons of brush and leaf. The sanitation department picked up 350 tons of household waste. Our garage completed 38 work orders, along with just various repairs on the public work equipment. And also I want to let the city know that at Public Works we will observe Memorial Day on Monday the 25th, so that's going to cause us to run the sanitation route for that entire week, one day behind. And that's my report.
Okay, thank you. We'll put that on our Facebook page also to remind the public of that change in the garbage route. And now for the city administrators, planning codes, Director Gentry.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sorry.
That's okay. 19 permits were issued in April. The total project valuation was $712,981. The total permit fees were $2,435.60. 162 property maintenance violations were logged in April. Our team is working hard to stay on top of all spring and summer property maintenance violations, and even making sure people, continue to keep their grass mowed. Political signs can be placed beginning on May 18th for the August 6th election. But please remember to keep all types of signage out of city and state right-of-ways, and do not tack any signs to utility poles. We are finalizing using the remainder of our ADA funds for this fiscal year. New handrails for in front of the municipal building are being fabricated, and we hope to get those installed in the next few weeks. And then Public Works recently helped us get updated handicap signs installed throughout the city. We do have another BZA meeting scheduled for June the 2nd, and this will be for a variance request for a front and side setback for a lot on Riley Circle. And that's my report.
Thank you. Now for the city administrator's report, Kevin Owens.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, board. As far as my report, you have seen, or you in your package is my report for the last month. But in the new month, working towards the next board meeting, we're still working on a fleet management plan, and you probably will see more information on that. We're still focused on grant management. Christy and her team and Jack, they're working to meet with property owners on this coming Thursday. So we're looking for a meeting, and we will have more information coming back on with that. The finance department and myself, we worked with the auditors on yesterday. We're working on a plan to go through the 25-26 audit to be more transparent and to be more better communicators. As well as we had a big meeting on yesterday with the county about animal control. There's still information that we're trying to work as far as negotiating with the county on how we look ahead with animal control. We're working, finance department, we're working with about how we're collecting revenues from Airbnbs within the city. One thing that Nathan did not mention but want the board's attention, he is planning our annual park review next week, which the board has been invited, so if you want to attend, please contact Nathan. I think he put the 19th and 22nd as dates that we'll be going, so if you would like to attend, he can make arrangements for you to participate with us. And finally, Debbie and Jonathan, we're looking at the IT plan for the remainder of the year, so we will be spending a lot of time on Thursday working on that. And unless there's any questions, that's my report for this month.
Any questions of the city administrator? Okay, we have no unfinished business, and so we'll move into new business. Item A, we will have to vote for these separately, so this is a call for a public hearing on June the 9th, 2026. This is for the city, we're going to do first the City of Fayetteville's budget. So do I have a motion to approve this public hearing?
Motion to approve.
Second.
So I have a motion by Alderman Alder, second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion? Debbie Culver?
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
That motion carries. Next, we'll do also a call for a public hearing on June the 9th, 2026. Both of these hearings will be held at 5 o'clock, just prior to the beginning of the board meeting. This is for the Fayetteville City School FY27 budget also. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A motion by Alderman Small, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie Culver?
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item B is for approval of the Music in the Park event permit. This will be at the Stonebridge Park. There are 4 concerts, May the 28th, June the 25th, July the 23rd, and August the 27th. We have received an application. It has been reviewed by the police department and sent to the board for approval. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Keenan,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Bradford. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item C, this is also an event permit application from the First United Methodist Church of Vacation Bible School. This is an annual event that they hold over in the lawn beside the Methodist Church, and also Edison Avenue is blocked off. This is also went before the police department and approved by Chief Jennings. So do I have a motion to approve this event?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Bradford, second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item D, this is approval of the obligation bond through Bass, Berry, and Sims. This is for the purchase of the fire truck. This issuance is not to exceed $2,350,000. The Vance was here this past week to discuss this. This was decided early on, but Chief Bergman would like to get this on paper, just making it official. It's already gone through, and many discussions have been had on this. There is a fee for this bond, and it's $12,000. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Alders, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion?
That 12,000 he said was included in our fees also, is what he said the other day, right?
That's correct.
That's
There's
correct.
20,000 set for that, so
Yeah.
this is actually the 8,000 coming to the positive.
That is correct.
I was listening.
And to be clear, the board's already approved the purchase. This is purely to
For the
fund
bond.
it.
This
On
is
the
for the
bond.
bond,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Debbie, call.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
That motion carries. Moving on to item E, this is the award of the HVAC bid to Long's Refrigeration. The board reviewed this, looked at the bids, and discussed of going with a 5-year purchase at the amount of $36,486. This has been provided to you in your package. So do I have a motion to approve this bid?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Alderman Small, second by Alderman Allen. Is there any discussion on this? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item F, this is a memorandum of understanding. This is with the Tennessee Youth Employment Program. This comes to us through South Central Human Resource Agency. It is a grant where they will pay up to $3,500 per student or per employee. Most of these employees are the lifeguards. So this is a great opportunity for the Parks and Recs Department to cover this for the summer. And so this is just a memorandum of understanding and how that goes. And then, there's going to be a lapse for a short period, and then it's retroactive. They'll go back. So they will be completely paid, and up to $3,500 each. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Keenan, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Alder. Does anyone have any questions? Debbie Cox?
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
That motion carries. Okay, this is for ad hoc committee appointments for the Southside Fire aftermath. Do you have anything on that, Kevin, or are we just, are you needing names for this? What are you?
I guess to be official, we can do names. We do have 2 staff recommendations to serve along with the committee, but whoever official.
Let's do the vote first and then go to the discussion. Or do the-
This is just the approval to form
Okay.
an ad hoc committee, so we won't necessarily have to name the names, right, Johnny? Okay,
Yeah, I think
all right,
that's-
let's do it that way then. So this is for the ad hoc committee appointments for the Southside Fire aftermath, and this is just to form the committee. So do I have a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Keenan, second by Vice Mayor Bradford. Any discussion?
Or we're not determining.
Because we do not have the
We don't have the
full
full.
committee.
Can we get input on that?
You could send, if you want input on that, I would recommend that you talk to Kevin and let him.
That's fine.
Okay. Any other questions? Debbie, you call the vote.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye. That motion carries. Now moving on to item H, this is for the Fayetteville City School. This is for the FY '26 budget amendment number 3. That has been provided to you in your package. This is just some changes of figures from different accounts. It balances out at $170,540.25. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Small, second.
Second.
second by Alderman Alder. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item I, this is for the Fayetteville City School Capital Budget Amendment Number 1. And in this, you will see, in your package, you've been provided the figures on this. And this is in the amount of $404,427.19. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Motion by Alderman Small, second.
Second.
Alderman Alder, second. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
No.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item J, this is Resolution R 26-13, approval to apply for the home grant. This comes to us from the Planning and Codes Department. We have received these funds in the past, and it's been provided to you. We can apply for up to $750,000. This comes through the South Central Development District. It could be anywhere from $100,000 to $750,000. We will not know until that time is presented. So, do I have a motion to apply?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Allen, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Faulkner. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item K, this is Resolution 2026-14, approval to apply for the TWRA Clean Stream Grant. It's kind of a tongue twister there. There is no matching funds to this grant. Comes to us through the Parks and Recs Department, and I think they've got plans for use of this, so we're looking forward to this grant. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Faulkner, second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call that vote.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
That motion carries. The final motion that we have here is for item L, ordinance 2026-09. This is for the City of Fayetteville, FY26 Budget Amendment Number 2. This has been presented to you in your package, and this is in the amount of $4,500 on the animal control. It's just some kind of housekeeping in getting close to the end of the year. So, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Allen, second. Second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
That motion carries. That concludes our agenda for tonight. This meeting is adjourned.